Welcome to Easy Business Automation, the show that helps you, as a small business owner, simplify the systems and strategies you use to grow.
Hey there.
Today, we're going to get really practical and look into a topic that I know feels, well, pretty overwhelming for small teams. And that is AI sales automation.
Yeah, it's a conversation we really need to have because the sales landscape in 2025, it's just gotten brutally competitive.
Right.
And if you're running a small operation, you know the pressure. You're expected to manage email, chat, social media DMs, follow-up calls,
All of it.
and close deals faster than some massive corporation with a huge team.
And the real irony is that the volume of just admin work,
Right.
the manual prospecting, the data entry, all of that is what's actively slowing you down.
Oh, absolutely.
We see companies losing hours, precious hours, every single week, just jumping between spreadsheets and a whole stack of different tools. It's just exhausting.
So I think our mission today is to just cut through all that noise. We want to give you a clear, practical picture of what AI sales automation can actually do for you right now. And more importantly, where a lean team should realistically start.
Oh.
The core concept is actually pretty simple. Let automation handle the repetitive, the boring grunt work.
Right, so your people can do what people do best.
Exactly. That frees up your talented human reps to focus on the high-value stuff, which is those crucial relationship-building conversations that actually convert.
Okay, let's unpack this right away. Why is selling, specifically for a small team, so much harder now than it was, say, even 5 years ago?
It really boils down to fragmentation and volume. Think about where your buyer is. They're not just waiting for your cold call anymore.
No.
They're on LinkedIn, they're submitting web forms, they're sending support chats, they're emailing. For a small team, trying to cover all those channels consistently it's nearly impossible.
Which means the data ends up living in different places. The person who submitted the form never gets connected to the conversation they had with you on social media.
Precisely. And that leads directly to that admin overload we mentioned. If a human has to manually research a prospect, then write a custom follow-up, then log every single note into their database.
ECRM.
Or their CRM, right. Productivity just dies.
And just for our listeners who might not use one yet, when we say CRM, we just mean that central system for tracking your customer relationships. Could be HubSpot, could be Salesforce, could even be a really good spreadsheet.
Right.
But I'm a bit skeptical about the time saving. You mentioned AI could cut manual effort by up to 80%. Is that a realistic number?
It is, and the data really backs it up. The average seller spends something like 60% of their day on non-selling activity.
60%? Wow.
Yeah, we're talking about tasks that AI is now great at. Scheduling, research summaries, documentation. If you automate just those things, you are legitimately saving your human sellers 2 hours a day.
2 hours per day.
Per day. That's time they can put right back into generating pipeline and closing deals. It's a massive efficiency gain.
And beyond just the time, I think the biggest sales killer for small teams has to be inconsistent follow-up. You might have one really brilliant, organized rep, but the rest of the team might, let things slip.
That inconsistent follow-up is absolutely where deals are won or lost. Without a system, the really hot leads get chased hard, but others, maybe the rep got distracted or the system didn't flag it.
They just get forgotten.
They're simply forgotten. And that's lost revenue, plain and simple.
So we've had automation for a while, right? Tools that send emails on a schedule. But now the industry is talking about this shift toward autonomy. What's the practical difference for someone listening?
That's the core mindset change for 2025. Old automation was based on simple rules. If they click this link, then send that email.
Okay.
New AI agents operate autonomously. They analyze buyer behavior. They look for what we call intent signals.
So like clues.
Clues, exactly. Like spending 10 minutes on your pricing page or watching a specific demo video 3 times. The AI uses those signals to decide the next best step, and it does it without a human needing to intervene.
So it's not just following a script. It's reacting to how someone is actually behaving.
Precisely. It handles all that boring, repetitive stuff so humans don't have to. It's not there to replace your top performers. It's there to basically clone their focus and consistency. It scales their impact.
That's a really key distinction. Okay, so before anyone rushes out and subscribes to the latest flashy tool, we need a map. We have to map the sales funnel to find out where we're leaking deals.
Right. Start by just visualizing your sales process. The path is usually simple. It's lead in, then qualified, quote or offer sent, follow up, and then
closed won or closed lost.
Right. So the critical question for you listening right now is, looking at my process, where am I losing deals?
And I find that so often when we ask that, the answer is just speed. Bottleneck number one is slow response time.
Absolutely. Sales totally depends on speed. We know from research that calling a lead within 5 minutes of their inquiry can just, multiply your conversion rates.
Right.
If a human has to manually track that lead down, precious time is lost, and that prospect has already moved on to your competitor. An AI agent just ensures no one is left waiting. They can engage 24/7.
The other huge bottleneck I see with small teams is just poor prioritization. You can't chase every single inquiry with the same energy if you only have one or two
And
reps.
that's where qualification really shines. AI helps by scoring leads based on those intent signals we talked about. Maybe a lead only gets a high score if they fill out a contact form and visit your case studies page 3 times in an hour.
So it's looking for a pattern.
It's finding the pattern. The AI determines who is truly hot, which lets your human team focus their precious time on just the top 10% of prospects that are going to drive 90% of your pipeline.
Let's ground this with a real scenario. Imagine a local home services company, a plumber, an electrician, that gets a ton of inbound, quote, requests from their website, maybe 50 a day. But the team is slow to reply, especially after 5 p.m. That's a huge leak.
That is the definition of a leak, right there. A simple AI chatbot or a workflow built into their site can instantly engage that lead the second the form is submitted. It can ask a few qualifying questions.
Like, what's your budget? Or is this urgent?
Exactly. And then it can automatically check the human rep's calendar and schedule the meeting or the, quote, appointment right then and there. You've literally created pipeline while the office was closed.
That moves a cold lead to a booked meeting without a human ever touching it. Okay, now let's take the opposite end of the funnel, a B2B service, like a marketing agency. They send out these detailed proposals, but then they rely entirely on the busy account manager remembering to follow up a week later.
The post-quote leak. It happens constantly. AI tools can fix this by letting you set up adaptive, behavior-based follow-up flows.
What do you mean by adaptive?
It means if the lead opens the quote 5 times but never clicks the link to book the final review call, the AI knows the human needs a nudge. It sends these consistent polite touches, or it sends a task directly to the human rep, which removes that total reliance on human memory.
Okay, that gives us the diagnosis. Now for the solution. For a small team that needs maximum impact with minimum cost, what are the core categories of AI sales tools we should be looking at?
Let's break it down by the stage of the funnel, starting right at the beginning. Lead capture and first response. This is the system that guarantees that instant engagement.
So we're talking about AI replying quickly through email, SMS, chat, and this is where those autonomous voice agents come in too, right?
Exactly. You have simple tools that reply to emails, but now you have these really sophisticated AI voice agents. We're seeing platforms like Solda AI with this capability. These agents can handle qualification, initial cold calls, follow-up.
And they can operate anytime.
They operate 24/7. And they're trained to sound, virtually indistinguishable from a human rep. For a small team, that's huge. It means your prospecting volume no longer relies on humans sitting at a desk 8 hours a day.
So once that lead is captured, the next critical step is making sure we're not wasting that rep's time on tire kickers. Which brings us to category 2, lead qualification and routing.
Right. Tools here use data enrichment and simple scoring rules to sort the hot leads from the cold ones. Enrichment just means pulling in publicly available data company, size, industry, location to instantly complete that lead's profile.
Got it.
The AI then looks at that combined score and automatically routes the highest scoring leads to the human rep immediately. So the AI does the sorting so the human can just focus on converting.
That's all about maximizing the efficiency of the people you already have.
Okay, moving past that initial contact, we get to the deals that are already in play. Category 3 is follow-up and nurture. These are your automated email and SMS sequencing tools, things like Instantly or Woodpecker. The key shift in 2025 is that they're not static anymore. They're what we call adaptive sequences.
Okay, so they change on the fly.
Yeah, if a little aide clicks a link, or if they just stop responding, the sequence might shorten or it could branch to a different, more urgent message. This keeps the follow-up feeling really personal, even though it's automated. And the key is to keep them short, 5 touches or fewer. And always anchor them to a real signal. Don't just spam them. Respond to what they did.
I see the value in that, yeah. It feels human, not robotic. Okay, category 4 gets a bit more advanced. Sales enablement and conversation support. This is for what happens during the actual call.
This is a total game changer, especially for training new reps on a small team. Tools like Gong or Outreach Kaya can join sales calls silently. They transcribe everything, they summarize the discussion, they detect key moments.
Like when a competitor's name comes up.
Exactly, or when a specific objection is raised,
Hmm.
and they pull out action items. Then they automatically update your CRM.
That sounds like an enterprise tool, to be honest. Is that really accessible for a small business?
You might not start with the biggest, most expensive platform out there, but the functionality is now getting baked into smaller, more affordable systems. Think of it like having a virtual sales coach whispering in your rep's ear, making sure they don't forget key details or fumble the next step.
I like that. A virtual coach. Okay, finally, the glue that holds all this together. Category 5, CRM and pipeline automation.
This is all about eliminating manual data entry, which is the single biggest time sink for small teams. These tools automatically update deal stages, log call notes, and assign tasks based on AI insights. The key is seamless integration with whatever CRM you're already using.
Right, so you're not creating more work.
Exactly. It has to be seamless to prevent data silos. If your rep still has to manually type notes after a call, you haven't automated enough.
That's a great overview of the landscape, but the biggest fear for any small business owner is wasting money or getting stuck in some complex setup. How do we choose where to start?
Okay, we have 3 simple, low-risk rules for this. Rule number 1, fix your biggest bottleneck first. Don't try to automate your whole sales process at once.
Just pick one thing.
Pick the single stage that's causing the most friction. Is it slow first response? Or is it terrible follow-up after the proposal? Start there.
Okay, rule number 2. Work with your existing stack. Don't buy some shiny new tool that forces you to replace everything you already have.
Precisely. Choose solutions that integrate deeply and easily with your current CRM and your existing systems. The AI tool should enhance what you already use, not demand a complete overhaul.
And rule number 3, avoid heavy setup.
Look for solutions that have AI automation as a core, intuitive part of the product. They should have simple, no-code interfaces. You shouldn't need a developer or 2 weeks of training just to launch a simple follow-up sequence.
Okay, so let's say we've picked one tool to fix one bottleneck. How do we run a manageable 30-day experiment to prove the value without risking our current pipeline?
You need a small, measurable goal. For example, your goal might be something like increase meetings booked per 100 accounts we touch by 20%. We call that MP100. It's specific and it's quantifiable.
Okay, what's the critical first step in that 30-day pilot?
Week 1 has to be about data hygiene. This is the boring but absolutely essential step. You have to clearly define your ideal customer profile. Who are you actually trying to reach?
Get really clear on that.
Then you need to use something called waterfall enrichment.
That sounds technical. What does that mean in simple terms?
It just means you're pulling lead data from multiple sources, one after the other. So if one source is missing the email, the system automatically checks a second source. This makes sure your list is clean and accurate before you send a single message.
Ah, because bad data leads to bounced emails.
Bouncing emails, wasted outreach, and, critically, it harms your domain reputation. It makes all your other emails look like spam.
That makes perfect sense. So during the 30 days, what are the few simple metrics we should be tracking?
You track the positive ones, reply rate, positive reply rate, and meetings booked. But you also have to obsessively track the negative one, your bounce rate. Keep that bounce rate under 1% to protect your domain and make sure your messages actually get delivered.
And if the results after 30 days aren't immediately hitting that 20% goal, do we just scrap the tool?
No, you optimize first. If performance is uneven, maybe you have low meeting rates or high bounces, you prioritize fixing the foundation. Adjust the signals you're targeting, clarify the message, fix the data gaps before you spend more money trying to scale it. It's always data, then message, then signal, in that order.
That is extremely practical advice for anyone feeling overwhelmed. Okay, to wrap up, let's give our listeners a clear, actionable checklist for the next 30 days.
Perfect. Let's make it concrete.
Step 1. Draw your current sales funnel on one page. Lead in, qualified, quote, closed. Then just circle the single biggest leak or friction point.
Step 2. Choose one stage to improve. Focus only on first response time or on consistent follow-up. Do not try to multitask.
Step 3. Test one specific workflow or AI tool that is focused only on fixing that single stage. Keep the experiment really small and contained.
And step 4. Train the tool. This is so crucial for sounding authentic. Use your real brand voice, samples of your best emails, your best chat responses to train the AI so that any content it generates actually sounds like you, not a generic robot.
And finally, step 5. Review the impact after 30 days. Measure the change in those core metrics: reply rate, meetings booked, and then decide. Do we expand this to the rest of the team? Do we tweak the settings? Or do we switch our approach entirely?
And here's the final thought I'd leave you with. The future of successful small team sales isn't about automation replacing humans. It's about humans and AI working together as one cohesive system. The AI handles the volume, the data, the signals. The humans build the relationships. The very best teams orchestrate email, social, and calling in a way that feels deeply personal and human, never automated.
Thank you so much for joining us for this conversation on easy business automation. We hope this gives you a clear path to help you close more deals with less effort and a lot more confidence.